While Netflix is a giant company, that doesn't mean they can't ruin the reputation they have. They have been in their fair share of controversies, and they've put out a ton of garbage content over the years. But now that everyone's leaving their homes to go back to work and school, Netflix's numbers that were previously up are dropping pretty hard right now. And while numbers are obviously gonna fluctuate, according to polls, people really aren't happy with a lot of the content the company's been putting onto their platform. So I want to read this Bounding into Comics article, and I also want to head over to Twitter afterwards to show off a poll that I had put up asking people, do you subscribe to Netflix? Why or why not? But before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So it says, overabundant emphasis on woke content likely the reason behind Netflix losing nearly 500,000 subscribers in the United States and Canada. This past Tuesday, on the 20th of July, Netflix revealed that the company had seen a loss of nearly 500,000 subscribers in the United States and Canada during this year's second quarter. The popular streaming platform said that an estimated 430,000 domestic users had unsubscribed and attributed this loss to the COVID-19 pandemic, causing lumpiness in their membership growth. It says in Q2, revenue increased 19% year over year to $7.3 billion, while operating income rose 36% year over year to $1.8 billion. We finished the quarter with over 209 million paid memberships, slightly ahead of our forecast, read Netflix's most recent earnings report. So it says the company believes that this loss in subscribers is the result of COVID-19 restrictions being lifted, saying the pandemic has created unusual choppiness in our growth and distorts year-over-year comparisons as acquisitions and engagement per member household spiked in the early months of COVID, adding that engagement per member household was, as expected, down. Now, Netflix is trying to say, oh, we lost subscribers because of the pandemic. That bump is over, but they've provided absolutely no proof. If you're trying to calm the worries of investors, you'd think they'd provide some data for them, but they're not showing us any numbers, percentages, anything. They're not giving us any of that. The polling data in this article that I'll be reading isn't really jiving with what Netflix is saying, because the poll in this article is saying people are unsubscribing because there's nothing to watch, so there's no value for them. Scrolling down, it says, while Netflix may argue that the irregularities caused by the COVID-19 pandemic are to blame for their loss in subscribers, there may be more to this phenomenon than the popular streaming platform is letting on. Breitbart recently shared a rather interesting take regarding Netflix's current dilemma, attributing the loss in subscribers to the streaming service's overabundant emphasis on left-leaning woke content. So it does give a couple of examples, saying Barack and Michelle Obama's We the People miniseries was also put forth as evidence of the streaming platform's left-leaning tendencies. As per Netflix's press release for We the People, this series is an exuberant call to action for everyone to rethink civics as a living, breathing thing, and to reframe their understanding of what government and citizenship means in a modern world. Former U.S. President Barack Obama announced the series on June 2nd, writing on his personal Twitter account, "Michelle and I are excited to share our latest show from Higher Ground, We the People." It also says Michelle Obama was given a kid-friendly cooking show on Netflix called Waffles and Mochi, in what looks like an attempt to bring back the former First Lady's questionable school lunch program, which, according to a 2015 report, saw a participation decline of 1.4 million children from school year 2010 to 2011 through school year 2013 to 2014. Moreover, in February of this year, the Obamas also announced that they were working on a live-action adaptation of the refugee-themed novel Exit West as part of their production deal with Netflix. Furthermore, it says Breitbart also pointed to a study conducted by one poll which revealed that 1 in 3 are ready to end their streaming services over the abundance of uninspired shows. Now, I do definitely think there are a certain group of people who subscribe to Netflix to, see that type of content, that want content that either pushes political narratives in your face or has the most woke stories possible. But most subscribers, don't want narratives. They want good stories with nostalgic characters and just good entertainment. There's normal Americans that aren't watching shows just for diversity and inclusivity, and that doesn't mean they're racist or sexist or bigots. They're just looking for good entertainment. It's really not that hard to understand. It says regarding respondents who were planning on ending their streaming platform subscription, 46% said that Netflix was the platform they were more likely to cancel, and in contrast, only 34% of respondents were planning on canceling their Hulu subscription, while another 34% said that they plan to cut back on their use of Amazon Prime. This study also revealed that respondents believed Tiger King was the most overhyped show of the pandemic, with similar pandemic popular series such as I Care a Lot and Schitt's Creek considered by respondents to be overrated television. I do definitely think a lot of people were disappointed with these series and just a lot of the content Netflix released in general. First of all, it took Netflix forever to release anything during the pandemic, but a lot of what they put out was just mediocre content that was super overhyped, that was just mediocre quality. A lot of people haven't been that impressed with Netflix in a while. It says it is also worth noting that He-Man fans have had their fair share of disappointment with Netflix as of late, following the release of Kevin Smith's insufferably woke take on the beloved He-Man franchise, Masters of the Universe Revelation. The recently released revival of the beloved 80s series has thus far successfully managed to anger fans of the original series through a number of woke production choices, such as having He-Man play second fiddle in his own show, featuring no strong male characters, and opting to focus on Teela instead. Kevin Smith literally said Netflix told him, "Don't worry, we've got 200 million subscribers, but those aren't 200 million people who are gonna watch He-Man or Castlevania, and you can't bet on the success of your show based on your overall subscriber base, since that base is gonna have very diverse interests. Let's say 20 million people are interested in He-Man, which I think is generous for an animated. Even though there's a lot of nostalgia, it's not gonna pull numbers like a Bridgerton, and if half of those people don't like it, you have created a bad product. Saying you've got 200 million subscribers so a show can't fail is BS." And I wanted to head over to Twitter because I decided to put out a poll to see people's general thoughts on Netflix right now, and I said, do you subscribe to Netflix? Why or why not? Please share. 38.7% said yes I do, and 61.3% said no way out of 561 votes. And I wanted to read a couple of the responses because a lot of people who do not aren't, impressed with the content, at least in my audience. So somebody said, with so many services out there, I feel it's just better to save my money than spend it on subpar products. Besides, YouTube is free and I get more enjoyment watching videos there. Fair enough, YouTube has a lot of content on it. Somebody said they lost me as a customer when they added cuties to their database. They continue to defend it on freedom of expression grounds while also censoring other anime and TV shows that fail to conform to, of course, woke agendas. People are saying things like used to, but a combination of a lack of time and content that interested me plus cuties made me pull the plug. A lot of people are saying they unsubscribed when the Cuties movie came out. People are saying things like I do for now, but only because I'm trying to finish Supernatural and Z Nation. After that, I'll probably cancel and get HBO Max since they have Babylon 5 and all of the DC Universe animated stuff. A lot of people are saying I don't subscribe to it, there's a lack of content, I'm not really interested in it, and I feel like that's a big consensus for a lot of people. There are a ton of people out there who still do subscribe to Netflix because they're hoping there's going to be new series coming out soon. Yeah, there's not anything right now, but maybe in the future will be, is kind of the general consensus for people who do still subscribe to it, but a lot of people are just really unimpressed with the content on the platform. Hollywood and Netflix suffer from this defense mechanism where they call people who dislike a show haters because if you're a real fan, you've got to accept the product or you're a hater. They don't want criticism because it's bad press, and I can't agree with the saying, all press is good press. It definitely can be very negative for these companies. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.